Layups can actually be OP this year if you know how to abuse this secret. Let's start off by going over the 2 best layup packages for what I'm about to show you guys. Number 1, and what I use, is Devin Booker, and another good one for this is LeBron James. They both do require a high driving layup. They both require an 87 plus, but in order to do this method effectively, you do want to aim for gold or higher physical finisher, because that's the badge you're going to be abusing. And this technique is actually super easy to do. So all you have to do is, when you're around the 3-point line, just push up on your right stick and move towards the basket. Don't hold your turbo button. And what's going to happen is the game is going to automatically do the best dribble moves and the best layup animation for whatever situation you're in. Is going to calculate all the opposing players around you, and it's going to give you the best animation. And by doing this, you're always going to be triggering the physical finisher badge, which is why you want to have that badge on at least gold or higher if you're going to be abusing this. And as you can see by these clips, I'm greening every single layup. Now, in order for this to work really good, you do want to make sure you have your layup timing profile to high risk, high reward, and that's going to give you a huge boost to your green window doing this, and you'll be able to make tight layups pretty consistently. The build I love to do this on is my LeBron James build, which has a 96 driving layup and Hall of Fame physical finisher, and I use the +1 to get that badge up to legend. So let's go over that build for you guys if you want to try it out. So for this build, I went 6'8", 209 pounds with a 7'1" wingspan. And to start off the build, I went with a 91 driving layup, which at a 90 driving layup and a 75 strength, you do get gold physical finisher, but I did use 5 cap breakers here to get it up to a 96, and that combined with an 84 strength gets us Hall of Fame physical finisher. And then we use our badge +1 on this to get it up to legend, which makes this technique we're using just incredible. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is a very offensive focused build. This build, I kind of modeled it after like current day 40-year-old LeBron, who can still dunk, but he's not getting up there quite like he used to. So on this build, we do have an 85 driving dunk, and then I did use 2 more cap breakers here to get the driving dunk up to an 87, which that combined with the 75 vertical is what we need to unlock contact dunks off of 2. So you can get contact dunks on this build, and you still can use the dunk meter if you want to. And then for the shooting on this build, I went with an 85 mid-range shot, and that is the requirement. So we get Deadeye on silver. We also get set shot specialist on silver. And in the future, if I ever do hit veteran 2, I'm going to put the cap breakers I unlock there on mid-range shot to get this up to an 89. That way I could boost the set shot specialist up to gold. But there's 2 takeovers I switch between on this build, and the first one is the make it rain takeover, which in order to unlock that, you need an 83-point shot. So I wanted to make sure I get that takeover on this build. And what this build does, if you don't know, it actually gives you a boost to your mid-range shot, 3-point shot, and speed. So you'll actually be able to shoot very good on this build, along with the crazy good finishing you have. And you do get an 85 speed on this build, so you'll also end up having a 92 speed when you have your takeover. Now, since I kind of modeled this build after current day LeBron, I wanted to have good playmaking. So we have an 85 pass accuracy, which is the requirement to get the LeBron James pass package. And at an 85 pass accuracy, you do get bailout, which is incredibly useful for this build, since you can kick out of layups if you're going up with something you're not feeling too confident about, and that'll actually catch the defense off guard a lot of times. Now, the other takeover I like to use on this build is the mixtape takeover, because it gives you the blur takeover ability, which is incredible on a build like this, especially with it being 6'8". If you don't know what the blur takeover does, it basically makes it so you can just blow by anyone with ease. It's an incredible badge to have when you're on like a slasher finisher type of build like this. So in order to get that takeover, we need to have our ball handle up to an 85. Now, at an 86 ball handle, you do unlock silver ankle assassin. So in the future, when you get more cap breakers from the season passes or whatever, this could be a good spot to put them. But an 85 ball handle is going to get you a lot of dribble animations as well, so you can get yourself to the basket even when you don't have that takeover. And then of course, speed with ball is very important on a build like this. So we are going to have a 75 speed with ball, which is the requirement to get lightning launch on silver. Very helpful badge to have when you're trying to drive to the rim. And like I said, the defense on this build is, you know, is not the best, but you can actually play some decent defense because you're going to have high strength on this build. So we're going to have a 74 perimeter defense, which once we level up all of our physicals, we'll have all of these badges on bronze, and then immovable forcer will be on silver. Now, unfortunately, the steel rating is way too expensive. I just couldn't afford it. And since this build is modeled after current day LeBron, he's kind of known for getting those chase down blocks. So we're putting the block at a 78, which is going to give us silver high flying denier once we do fill out those physicals. And then we'll also bump our interior defense up to a 60. That way we get paint patroller on bronze as well. You'll be able to get rebounds on this build. We have an 80 defensive rebound, which is the requirement for silver rebound chaser. And I probably should have covered the physicals first because you're also going to get silver box out beast once we do have those all upgraded. But last but not least, let's go over the physicals. So I have an 84 speed on this build, and I did end up using a cap breaker here to get it up to an 85 because at an 85 speed is where you get slippery off ball on gold, which is definitely helpful to have. Now, in order to get slippery off ball on gold, you also do need a 77 agility, which is what we have. And then the requirement for Hall of Fame physical finisher is an 83. And then we'll finish the physicals off by having a 75 vertical, and putting it up there will allow us to get silver posterizer. It'll allow us to get contact dunks off of 2. And then it looks like I used the rest of my attributes on free throw to get an 80 free throw, which is going to be a very consistent in the rec. You actually do get a really cool build name on this. You also got shades of Grady Dick and Kobe Bryant, which is an interesting combination to have shades of, but it does give you the name Balanced Offensive 2 Guard here. Now, when you use your cap breakers, it'll give you an option to change your name to Crafty Finisher, which is pretty cool name. And if you don't have cap breakers and you want to play on the build like this is a good option. Now, obviously, you're not going to get the 96 driving layup, so you can't use the +1 to get physical finisher up to legend, but you will have a 90 driving layup. You'll have gold physical finisher, so you could +1 that up to Hall of Fame, which is going to be very good still. You'll still get the contact dunks off of 2, and you'll actually get a little bit better shooting on this with the 89 mid-range, so you get that gold set shot specialist right away. And then virtually everything else is pretty much the same on this build. Free throws a little bit worse. Offensive rebound is a tiny bit better. Like I said, if you don't have cap breakers, definitely a good option for you to use this as well. This is just a very fun build once you get the hang of abusing that mechanic I was talking about earlier. So let me know what you guys think of the builds. Let me know what you want to see next, and make sure to click that subscribe button. And here's the web. Peace.